You're listening to the Money Monopolizers podcast, helping you take control of your financial destiny. It's about time that we invest more in our financial literacy and work towards building generational wealth. If you think you're ready to do the same, then you've come to the right place. Alex, Marlon, y'all ready? Let's get this bread.
What's good, everybody? It's Alex Comunio here, and we are back with episode 52 of the Money Monopolizers podcast. And I'm here with my co-host, Marlon Walls. Marlon, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. Multiple reasons now, man. So the episode was already good. I will get into that in a little bit. But as far as all my lifestyle events going on, I will say this. I offered on that one house. I think I mentioned this last week. I offered on one that duplex. We went and checked it out, like with the inspector. So there was a lot of foundational issues. So we just went ahead and backed out of that one. Got my earnest money back. The option fee is gone though. That's just $100. It was worth it to figure out that the foundation was way out of what I was willing to pay to get fixed. Or even I probably wouldn't even be able to ask for enough in concessions in order to get all that stuff fixed. So it was worth backing out of. But then I offered on another one. It was a lot better. It was it was a main house, back house type of setup. Back house was beautiful. The main house is even better. They even have black toilets in there. It was like, bro, this is the one. And we offered $9,000 over asking. It was listed for $243. We offered $252 because they asked for highest and best offer. Asked for like $6,000 in seller concessions, so they were gonna get like a net of $3,000 over asking, and they still went with somebody else. We had a concession in there too, a stipulation in there, like in the agreement that said, hey, if whoever your best offer is, we will give you $1,000 over the best offer if you show us the contract that they gave you. And they still said no. So that was trash. But also at the same time, past week I started the rental car business, and we got our first listing up a couple of days ago. So I'm about to get that on the road as well. So it's going good, and I'm gonna keep on that search for getting my personal residence. But everything is a lot better here in Houston than it was in Lafayette. And well, last week I said that I was in prison. Or something. It sounded like I said that, but no. When I say I was serving a prison sentence, I was referring to doing my 2-year degree at the Purdue, and that's because I wasn't able to take on all the entrepreneurship and business ventures that I wanted to because I was busy doing research and taking classes and doing homework. So that's what I was referring to, just for anybody who may have been misled by what I said last week. Now that my spiel is over, how you been doing, bro?
No, that's crazy. Somebody really hit this dude up and asked if he was, or told him that his story was powerful because he was in prison. And I was like, bro, that's crazy. But yeah, you definitely got to clear that up. That's it's
a big difference.
I guess if that was the first time you ever heard it, then yeah, I could see, just because you didn't mention the fact that it was school, then yeah. But that's definitely not yeah, it's school, but it ain't. We're not talking about Rikers Island. Right. So, but yeah, that's what's up though. Real estate out there is stupid, bro. That's crazy. It's hot. Houston real estate is hot. But that's good. As far as everything for me, I'm doing good. Just been still working, man, and hustling, getting the cash flow up, trying to get all the businesses up and running to the point where I could live off of those assets and not live off of that cash flow, and be completely independent from the 9-to-5. We getting there. I guess y'all are hearing this on Thursday. If you're listening to this when it first released, no episode will be releasing next week because I'll be in Mexico for the week. So don't be looking for an episode next week. I think this will be 6 in a row, which usually I don't like to do that many in a row because I like to take a break after every few weeks. But I want to grind them out because I knew I wouldn't get one while I was out in Mexico. So, yeah. But other than that, man, we got a great episode for y'all today. We spoke with Annalisa Abell, I guess how you say her name. It was really, really, really a great conversation, man. I think this kind of episode is more so kind of it's like one of those mindset kind of episodes in the sense that you need to, like, even if you haven't, achieved what you are trying to achieve, like, you should be manifesting those things, right? And that's one thing she was even big on. We asked her about that, and you'll hear that and how she kind of manifests things and talks about things that haven't even become true yet. And that's very important to keep your mind in that aspect. But other than that, man, I love this episode because she was very relatable, right? And she was really like, our stories are very similar in the sense of our mindsets, and also our journeys. So it's really dope to see, especially coming from a young Black woman. So shout out to her for that. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I think Annalisa, her whole story, like, from beginning to end, even like growing up, she was always an avid saver. Like, I don't want to go too much into it, but everything that she did, I feel like we were like the exact same way from each different stage of life. So early on, how she viewed money and how she handled herself with money, up until even right now with what she invests in and the type of businesses that she's looking to get started with. Like, you can just see it's like it's like almost looking into a mirror. So it was very relatable, like you said, and I think our viewers should get a lot of value out of it, because you can see the type of mindset that it takes in order to start really saying, I'm about to build wealth for myself, and I'm going to try to achieve something better. So really, it's just like, I think this is definitely one of those powerful mindset episodes where people can really see the transformation that they should go through in order to start moving towards generational wealth.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. And I think this is probably the youngest person we've brought on the podcast. Definitely the youngest woman.
Yeah, I think so. On definitely women. I know we had a couple younger dudes already on here. So both real estate. Oh no, O'Neal Parker was one. Xavier was another. Yeah, so both of them may be a little bit younger than her.
Yeah. So for all the young women out there listening, this is a great episode for you. I feel like that's probably our smallest audience. The young women under the age of like 30.
Right.
So it'll be a great episode for y'all, but a great episode for anyone, really. I mean, tons of value in this episode. So y'all definitely stay tuned. Shoot, it's a great episode. That's all I say. But yeah, let's get into it. Hey, Annalisa, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing.
So we're super happy to have you on and kind of get you exposed to our audience, and be able to go through your story and hear more so about what you're doing in terms of within the financial community and building wealth and those kind of things. Usually how we start these is we really want to get into like each of our guests, like their background and their upbringing in regards to finances and money. So could you kind of like tell us your upbringing was like in adolescence and growing up in regards to the finances at home, and even once you moved out of home and those kind of things? What was that mindset like?
So that's interesting. So obviously when I was younger, I feel like I probably definitely had a stagnant mindset. I wasn't really knowledgeable about finances. We didn't really talk about it in my household, but I was fortunate enough to grow up with both of my parents. So I didn't realize that, we didn't really make that much money. We had the advantage to be able to go on family trips together. At some points in my childhood, I was able to actually get allowance. But when I reflect back and just think about, I've always had an interesting relationship with money. So I was an adamant saver, even when I was getting allowance. And I think it's a connection between me not always having a lot growing up with my parents and not want to splurge the little bit of money that I did have. But I was an avid saver. It wasn't until I got older and realized that having your money sit into a bank account is really not doing much for you. So initially, my financial journey that really heightened everything for me to be more educated in finance was probably early 2018. So again, I've always been a saver. I've always had a decent amount of money in my savings account, but mentally in my mindset, that was always money I didn't really need to touch. That wasn't the daily money that I would go to. So whatever I see in my checking account, that's money that I can spend now. So when I got to a point where I had like $500 in my checking account, and it had a lot to do with like lifestyle creep. So I moved to like Northern Ohio. I got like a 20% promotion. I was making more money. On paper, it looked like I was making more money, but when you think about what you're bringing in on a monthly basis, it really didn't make sense for me to be splurging the way that I was. So I got to the point at the end of the year and I had like $500 in my bank account. And, you know, I wasn't used to having that. So I took time to just focus on paying off my debt, being more knowledgeable, reading books like Think Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and just really being knowledgeable about my finances. So I'm reading all these books about how people are becoming self-made millionaires. I'm like, I'm smart. I can do what they do. I can emulate what they do and apply it to my life. And then once I was able to pay off my debt, become knowledgeable about real estate and investing and how to actually make my money work for me, it was important for me to be able to teach that to other people. So that kind of propelled like my podcast, Financial Flex, and, you know, just talking to people about their business ideas. But again, just learning about finances, it's so many things to learn, right? It's like not one go-to person that's like the financial expert that knows everything about debt, you know, business credit, any of those things. So it's like we're constantly educating ourselves about, you know, how to make more money, how to create multiple streams of income, which is what I'm a huge proponent for my platform, because, you know, just having one source of income is truly a liability. And if we didn't learn anything through COVID-19 and the pandemic, is that you can't rely on other people to help you pay your bills. So that is usually the theme of like what I say to people, how I educate others, and kind of how I operate and function on a regular.
Okay, so there's a whole lot in there, but from the very beginning, I was just saying that you're like the female version of us. That's literally what I was thinking in the beginning, because you're talking about how you were always an avid saver growing up, how when you see a lot of money come into your bank account, you move most of it to the savings and have a couple hundred in the checkings, and the 100 is the spending money. The rest of it is just like, oh, I don't even know that's there. Like there was like a meme going around about that saying like, if you get it, you get it. $100 in the checkings, 10,000 in the savings, and I'm still broke.
I'm still broke.
Yeah. That's how I definitely operate my life. But now you said that like in 2018 you were down like to $500 because you went through lifestyle creep. We talk about that a lot on the podcast and on our different posts on our platform, because once people start making more money, they start inevitably spending more money as a result. It's just something psychological that people go through. I'm not too sure. I wish I could like do a study on that, but it happens so frequently. So now you said you started reading books as well, though. So what led you to those books? Like, how did you start finding out about ways that people actually operate with their money as opposed to how you were operating with lifestyle creep? Like, how'd you figure out that there was resources out there?
Well, for me, I'm a reader anyways. I enjoy reading. I enjoy audiobooks too. But I'm a big proponent on your thoughts attract what you bring into your life. So what are you consuming on a consistent basis? Are you watching TV that's adding value into your life? Are you listening to things that add value into your life? So I always knew that, you know, what you consume yourself with is what essentially you'll create. That's what you'll become. And I'm a reader, so I looked for those things. And again, there's so many. That's what I tell people. We have access virtually to so much information, so much free information. You know, you got Financial Flex, you have you all's platform, your podcast. We give out a lot of free game that we could definitely be charging. But I'm so passionate about other people to have their own financial independence. I will give out a lot of free information. But, you know, I just there weren't millionaires in my life. There aren't millionaires in my family. So I had to go out and figure out how I can get that information. So hearing about people's stories that, you know, they didn't inherit a lot of money. They just added these really small strategies to their lives to propel them to become these millionaires. So again, I mean, I'm a reader. I like to acquire lots of knowledge. I always tell my friends, I know like random facts about things. Like I'm just very random in that way. You know, we didn't learn about I didn't learn about finances in school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't learn about it in my household, and it's just interesting how roles have reversed when you get older, and it's almost like you're taking care of your parents and you're educating them about finances. So, you know, I just think it's important to utilize these free resources in books.
Bro, Marlon,
what's up?
I was going to propose to her right now.
I saw that. I saw you. I say, hey, you know, I be watching you, boy, smile. I say, he hype.
No, because it's crazy because literally everything she's saying is like literally 100% of the same. I
I
literally
told you.
exact same way about everything,
But
and
seriously,
it's crazy because you know, growing up, like we kind of grew up from like we grew up in like the suburbs, right? Where it's like obviously we didn't grow up in like poverty, but we didn't grow up with any like millionaires or anything around us. So you kind of just grow up and you see like, okay, 9 to 5, that's the pinnacle, right? Like you get a high paying job. You go to school, you get a high paying job, and that's it. But now, literally, like once I don't know, like you get out that shell of like being at home and you're exposed to like all the information that's for free that's out there. You literally see the blueprint as to how people from modest beginnings become multi-millionaires. And it's not like they're doing it. It's not reinventing the wheel. They don't have any special talents. They're not smarter than anybody. They just literally do things differently than how the typical person does them. So literally, it's so easy to build. It's not. I talk about this a lot. It's not easy to build wealth, but it's easy to build wealth, right? Because you can. It's literally the path is so linear that you can literally just copy what other people do and literally listen to a podcast and do exactly what they do and become a multimillionaire. And that's like the society that's the times that we live in right now. So you just saying that makes me feel like, man, that's seeing that from, you know, another person, especially from, you know, a woman is like, it's nice to see. So
no, yeah, it's interesting because so I'm a very disciplined person. So let's just throw that out there. So I know a lot of things that I do it's going to be challenging for other people, but I want people to at least put the steps in order to like educate yourself. You can't speak about like, I don't want to hear you speak about anything if you're not doing the proper research to do it, period. Like I don't want to hear about it. Because I'm going to ask you, where'd you get that from? Who said that? Like, I'm going to ask you about it.
Fact check.
So I'm always encouraging people to, you know, read books to acquire knowledge about financial literacy because we didn't learn it and the time is now. If you never start, then how do you know it's going to work or not?
yeah, exactly. And like it's literally anybody can, if you have access to the information, which essentially everyone does in this day and age, you can literally change your life off of Instagram alone can change your life if you follow the right people. I know you had tweeted that one time talking about if you follow, depending on who you're following is, you know, it can really like, you know, shape your future. And that's real. That's just, you know, the day and age we live in. So, but I want to kind of, you know, go a little deeper into your story as far as, well, what do you do right now, actually? So as far as like, do you have a 9 to 5 right now, or what is
the loaded question? Annalisa does Annalisa does a little bit of everything. So I do have a 9 to 5 currently. I work in healthcare finance. My master's is in like public administration with the focus in healthcare systems management. Never thought I would end up in the finance space, but it's weird how the universe works. So I work in healthcare finance. That's my 9 to 5. I've been blessed to be able to work remotely through COVID-19. So my paycheck has not been disrupted. I also own a duplex, so I get paid rent every month. I also am a virtual assistant for a very popular business owner. So I can do a lot of things and make money from my phone. So when I go to trips to Mexico or anywhere else, I'm able to do that virtually. So I have that benefit. It's all about creating businesses, but making sure they're essential too. And then what else do I do? And then I have a digital product. So I just launched my How to Become Debt Free course. Actually just launched it before this call. I was accepting pre-orders. So that information is out there because even when I started my financial journey, that's the question I got the most is how to become debt. You know, educating people on good debt and bad debt and what that actually looks like. Because again, this is not information we've been taught before. So yeah, I do a lot of things. I'm a huge proponent of diversifying your sources of income. I never want to rely on a person to determine if I'm going to pay my bills month to month. That's just not what I do. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I know that that's we love that, like the entire multiple streams of income. That's exactly what I was going to hit on, because what I'm hearing is that most of your streams of income are either remote or passive. So even your 9 to 5 is remote. Like you don't have to be there physically in order to operate it. So that is allowing you the time freedom to be able to do what you want to do, whether you want to travel, whether you want to just kick back and relax on a beach somewhere. You can still get your work done, or you can still have income coming in whether you work for it or not. Especially like, so say that duplex, for instance, I don't know if you live there or not. Like, do you live in one unit or do you just own the whole duplex?
I'm house active. Yes. So I'm fortunate enough. I don't have kids or anything, so I'm able to like live alone. But like, I got an extra bedroom. I would house hack that joint too. But
Hey, 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 man. She might have to become the third co-host of Money Monopolizers.
Shedding tears right now. I'm so hyped.
let the people know, you know. But I will say, I've been fortunate coming into my duplex. It had already had a tenant in there. They've never missed a payment. And I'm a new investor, so I'm obviously learning how to become a landlord. But the goal is to expand my portfolio. And I'm in Ohio. I don't know if you all know, but it is very inexpensive to invest in the Midwest. Yeah, that's the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so okay, I want to get into a lot of that. So first, as far as I guess, obviously you say you had a master's. So did you have to go into debt to finance your degree? How did that look, actually?
I did. Okay, so after college, I only had like $10,000 in student loans, and that was because I studied abroad. But while I was in college, and I would love to get in front of students and tell them like this was my method, and so I was on scholarship. I stacked my scholarship and put it in my savings account. Again, I'm the avid saver, and then I also lived off campus. So while I was in school working, I was working full time as well. So most of my debt didn't even come from like student loans. It just came from like credit card debt and then a car loan. So yeah, I didn't really have a lot of student debt. I was very strategic, and to pursue my master's degree, if it wasn't going to get paid for, then I wasn't going to do it. We can have a separate conversation on how I feel about education and paying for education. I don't want to go on a rant, and I don't want to scare your viewers away, but I have my own thoughts about paying for education. So yeah.
I mean, if it's controversial, we definitely want to hear it. But I know you were going to say something. Look, we love the controversy because it brings more viewers. That's what we like.
I think college is a scam.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, I can only speak. I've traveled abroad, but I can only speak on the society that I live in. So America has created this idea that to become wealthy, you have to obtain a degree that you have to pay for. You have to take all this money out to pay for an education. When you look at the ROI on most of these degrees, it's not worth it. So don't get me wrong. I think if you want to be a physician, you should go through school. You should go through training. If you want to be an accountant, there's proper training that needs to be done. But there's a way to go to school. If you're not going to get it paid for, you need to think about what is another plan I can make money. Because even if I knew what I knew now, then I would have questioned if I would have went to college, right? I could have been an entrepreneur. Furthermore, I'm providing more value based on my own personal research than what I learned in school. And even the current job that I have, my 9 to 5, I'm not using things that I learned from my master's degree. And don't get me wrong, I'm Greek, so the social experience, I think there's a benefit to that, but does that cost thousands of dollars? You know what I mean? So that's my only thoughts about education. So if there's parents that are trying to consider if they want to send their kids to school, and I'll let you know right now, if my only option is virtual learning, I'm not paying for college, because the only benefit that it would add towards my life would be that social experience, meeting people. If you're going to a Harvard or Ivy League university, obviously, if I can't create that network by creating those social experiences, by being on campus and having access to an elite group of people, right? Because people that go to those schools, they usually have to pay for it. Their parents usually come from wealth. So it is that advantage for you to create that network and be a part of that elite group. But if I can't do that due to like a pandemic or COVID-19, I don't understand why I would pay for that. So that's my only thing. I just want people to know that, getting a bachelor's degree, getting a master's degree, getting a doctorate degree does not guarantee financial security. Again, it is essentially a piece of paper.
I'm gonna let you say I got a lot. So
yeah, we finna get into this because this literally my mindset has changed since I graduated from school. My mindset has like changed from this because obviously, growing up, like I said earlier, that's expected. Like if you don't go to college, what does society say? They look at you like a bum. Honestly, my bad. They look at you like a bum. And in the reality, you know, we see time and time again countless examples of people that didn't go to school and become multimillionaires, right? Now, obviously, a lot of those are outliers. It's not saying just because you didn't go to school, it's guaranteed you're going to be a multimillionaire. Because I mean, businesses, I can guarantee you have a lot easier life if you go to school, get a 9 to 5, and live that life, right? Business is going to be a lot harder, and it's not for. I mean, it is for everyone, but everyone's not necessarily built for it. You have to adapt that into that mindset, right? And so, what I'm about to say, I'm sorry, Mom, if you're listening. I know. She's going to be pissed at me, but my mind has changed over these last 2 or 3 years. College is 100% a scam, like you said, because today the industrial age is over. Up to the 1970s, 1975, 1980s, that time, going to school, I would say was a good idea. But after that time, once computers and the internet became prominent, school is no longer a necessity to be well off. And actually, if you don't go to school, you can be significantly more well off because you didn't get into debt to finance that degree, right? And so I always encourage people. I've always been an advocate of, yes, like you said too. Look, you have to look at college as an investment too, because it's an ROI on everything. If you're going to take out $30,000 of debt, I need you to not be getting paid $30,000 too. That doesn't make sense. That's not a good investment, right? So it goes back to, being like, I mean, we both graduated. We're both engineers on the 9 to 5. So obviously you need a degree. But at the same time, my job that I work, I tell my friends, like, bro, I could honestly get a high schooler to do my job if I showed them like a few of the things that we do now. Because literally, yes, this is an engineering job. I could teach a high schooler how to do this job because it's not, the computer does everything for you now. You just have to know kind of how to manipulate it. But anyways, as far as like, college itself, if you're becoming a physician, those kind of things, it's definitely 100%. Yeah, I don't want my doctor to have a, degree from YouTube University. I would hope that they got, a good education. But for the most part, it's definitely not needed. Just that social aspect. I don't know. Marlon has a big, take on that as well, talking about the social aspect. But overall, though, it's good. I think using it for leverage in terms of like, you go to school, get a good paying job, and you leverage that into a business. Like I would encourage whenever I have kids, look, I'm gonna show them all the options. And, me being an entrepreneur, they're going to grow up in that environment seeing that. So if they don't want to, like, I will allow them, like, look, if you want to go to school, then it's there. Like that is there. That's completely fine. But just know it's not 100% necessary. So.
Right. And then my take on that same thing, I mean, first and foremost, what I love the most that you said is that if you were forced to learn virtually from a university, you're just not going to college. Because for one, they're not teaching you anything that you can't, like, especially in this day and age where everything is readily accessible on the internet. You can learn most of that stuff and way more, like actually pertinent info. You're not going to Western civilization when you're trying to become an engineer. You're not going to psychology when you're trying to become a doctor, stuff like that. Like you're not taking these unnecessary courses that are just filler courses to give the university more money. You're only going to be taking stuff or learning things that you want to learn, such as how to house hack, how to get started a rental car business, how to build wealth, all these different sorts of ways. So you said that if you can't have the other aspect that universities normally offer, such as the building connections, such as networking with professors, networking with potential potential bosses that you could use to get into different companies, stuff like that. If you don't have those type of resources from a university, there's no reason to go anymore, because now you just have lost one of your biggest edges that the universities have given you, like as far as their benefits of even going. Because for me personally, when I just finished doing 2 years at Purdue University, and I would say that more than anything else, the only thing I feel like I really got out of there are the connections that I had with either the professors or with the other graduate students or undergrads that I met, more so than the degree itself. Now, a couple classes, of course, were beneficial because I was able to selectively choose which ones I wanted, but I could take those anywhere. I didn't need to be at Purdue University to take those. The problem is that society just views, like society has their stigmas about seeing a university tied to how knowledgeable you are, or seeing how you perform in a university, to saying, oh, this person is automatically smart. Because when I was an undergraduate, I was a 4.0 student in engineering physics playing football for Stephen F. Austin State University. People looked at me like I was larger than life just because of how I was performing in the classroom. We tell stories all the time about how as soon as I got into the workforce, I realized how dumb I really was because there was so much stuff that I didn't know, and I needed to educate myself and by other means that school had never taught me. And so, yeah, I'm 100% with you talking about school is a scam when it comes to like the entire system of how much we have to pay to get there. I also had a mentor one time that told me, hey, you should never have to pay, especially as an African-American male, you should never have to pay to go to get your graduate degree. And that's because there's too much money that they're offering you. They want you to come because they want that diversity in their community or in their university altogether. So if you just by applying for those scholarships, like you said you were doing, you were able to eliminate a lot of your debt that you would have potentially accrued from the university.
I'm just gonna say it's just weird how society has this weird connection with equating your value to the degree that you have. So my bachelor's degree is in Spanish. It's again, I was going to go to pre-med and then I changed my major last minute, but I knew I was going to graduate school. So I can't do nothing with a Spanish degree. I mean, I just say that to say that it's, you really have to shift your mindset and figure out everything that you can monetize. Like the plumber, electrician that I would come to my house, they get paid $75 an hour, $100 an hour. Legit, an electrician came to my house. He was there less than 15 minutes and I owed him $75. And he was a Black man and I wasn't mad at it. I'm like, let me go ahead and pay you. But we got this idea that even being an entrepreneur or a business owner or making money has to be sexy. All I want you to do is make money. It doesn't have to be cute, because what's not cute is acquiring all this debt that doesn't make money for you. I can tell you that right now. You bringing that into relationships, you bringing that into friendships, trying to live up to what society says that you should have. You have to, I think people because money can be very emotional, and you just have to reflect and say, what is my worth? What is my value? And it has nothing to do with my degree. I'm still the same person with or without the degree.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Especially because, trades, I mean, you talking about the plumbers, bro. A lot of those trade, electricians, plumbers, HVAC people, they make bread, bro. And it's like, literally, you go to a trade school that's significantly less expensive than, that university degree, and you come out making crazy amounts of money. And the thing is, you can scale that to a business, a real business. You can never scale your 9-to-5 to anything except, associate or president. Even if you'd be lucky to become CEO. Most people will never become CEO. So, that's I love it. So you say you got a degree in Spanish?
Sí, no hablo mucho español, un poquito.
¿Tú entiendes un poquito? Okay.
No, I went to Mexico and flexed on my little Spanish. And then I studied abroad in Costa Rica and Ecuador. So.
Oh, nice. I'm going to Mexico next week, actually.
What area are you going to Tulum like everybody else?
No, I'm going to Cabo.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about going back to Cabo because I'm trying to figure out where else I can go. So yeah.
But cool. So let's. I want to get into like as far as what you're doing now to like build wealth primarily. Like, what is your plan necessarily to like build wealth, become a multimillionaire, and eventually create that generational wealth? What are you kind of doing? How does that look?
So just so I won't confuse the viewers, I speak on things as if I already have them.
I love it.
I love that.
So I don't want to confuse anyone, but I have 10 doors. That is a part of the plan in the next 2 years. So I'm giving myself 2 years. Ideally, I would like to move out of Ohio. It's convenient at the moment from a real estate perspective and cost of living. And then also I will create things that are essential to people that's going to add a lot of value that they'll be willing to pay for. So a lot of things that I want to do, I want people to be able to do it virtually. You don't have to see me in person. So I'm just thinking of new innovative ways to be able to provide value to people and monetize everything I do. Mm-hmm. I give things for free. You can set up a discovery call with me. We can talk about your business plan, your debt payment plan that you created after finishing my course. But I know how much value I can give to people. So at some point people got to start paying for stuff.
Yeah.
So, the way that my mindset is, I'm always thinking of how I can monetize different things, how I can make more money. It's crazy because I can't turn it off and I wish I could.
Yeah.
So primarily, I would say through real estate is going to be my foundation in regards to like acquiring assets. But to increase cash flow, I've been talking with my friend in regards to the trucking industry. She's already in the trucking industry, just to create, just to increase my.
Sorry, keep going. I'll tell you after you're done.
Yeah.
Just to increase my monthly income, and then probably so my weekend today is learning about government contracts, because there's money to be made in outsourcing a lot of work that the government wants you to do. Like legit, I seen a screenshot of the government wanting to hire someone to deliver pizzas. Again,
Wow.
It's crazy. Or to provide dog food for them. Again, they have all this money, and if they don't utilize the money, then they lose it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to help these small businesses. And, I may not be a complete expert in the business, but you know what I know how to do? Outsource. Finding a driver is extremely challenging. I don't know what's going on right now, but so just to answer your question and wrap it up is that, real estate will be the foundation. I've always loved real estate. And then create business that will add value to business owners, which I will announce the business in the end of the year. It's just weird for me to announce it right now. And just know I am a millionaire. It's no doubts there. We got different streams.
I'm gonna take a backseat on this one. Alex has a lot to say. I'm gonna let him go ahead.
Well, first, I mean, like I said earlier, man, every time you talk, it's like, my gosh, she's literally just like me. And well, so first, I mean, I know you say you're moving. We would love to have you in Texas. Welcome you here to Texas. Texas is a great state, build wealth. Taxes.
Texas is on my list, so it's on the list. So
Okay.
It's a great state. It's a great state. But from transitioning from that, the reason we were smiling and laughing so much because a lot of the stuff like that you were saying is literally a lot of stuff that we're implementing, right? So I know for me personally, last year, I know when we got into this whole wealth building, mentality in terms of creating generational wealth in January of 2018, we were strictly real estate, right? Like real estate was the move. Like if it ain't real estate, I ain't trying to hear it. And then we started Money Monopolizers last, May. And, just being on Instagram alone exposes you to so many different avenues of wealth building, right? So now the strategy has literally shifted from, and, also I read Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, where he talks kind of a lot about, the different, mentalities and methods to generate wealth, right? And so now the goal is really to diversify and have, income in many different areas, right? So from that, I got involved into trucking last year, and I had bought my first truck last year. And that's why we were laughing, because I had no idea that you was involved in that. And then I was involved. And then you start talking about the driver. Right. I was like, I'm literally going through that exact thing right now, because I got the truck up and running in March. My driver ended up quitting. And the truck has been sitting for the last 2 months because I haven't found a driver. Thank God I just found one. He's supposed to be starting next week. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. But that is probably the hardest. Getting into the trucking thing alone was so tough. So, that was probably one of the hardest things I did. But we do a whole bunch of different things in terms of, ways to generate income now, because now that business income, the cash flow potential is a lot higher than real estate, right? Because with real estate, real estate I look at as the wealth generator, but the businesses generate the cash flow and give you the freedom. And then you can always you put the money back into real estate, of course. Mm-hmm. So that's the goal now with that. And, with the trucking, the cash flow, obviously one truck can do $20K a month. So the cash flow potential on that is ridiculous. And of course with the other stuff too. So I really commend you, man, because you're doing it like it's textbook. For me, it's what I'm doing. So that's why I say it's textbook, because I feel like what I'm doing is textbook. So I really commend you on that. It's amazing.
It's crazy. I said this in the very beginning that you're literally the female version of us, and it's showing out more and more like from each stage. So I'm just like, that's why we just keep laughing so much, because we have conversations offline all the time about all of this, and it sounds like I got a recorder playing right now, just with a nicer voice on it. So. Yeah. So like I said, we just commend you. I know that you you did the course that you just released, and also you give a lot of weight to your audience. So I know with your mindset this is not what a lot of people. It's not how a lot of people think. So how is it trying to like motivate people to in order to take that first step and like as far as like starting their own business, taking a leap in order to start investing, buying a duplex? Because I know there's a lot of naysayers that say, oh, you had a 2-parent household, oh, you went to college, oh, you did this, that, and the other, so you have the advantage that I don't have. So what has that been for you in order to get people to think differently despite where they may have come from?
With anything, I've said this on my platform before, I don't care what journey you want to do. You want to lose weight, you want to grow your edges back, you want to gain weight, any of these things, you have to have the right mindset, and then you have to connect that to your why. So why are you doing this? Do you want to make money to acquire more materials to make you feel better about yourself? Because that's going to be a temporary feeling. So what are you going to do? What's the why that's going to give you long-term gratification? Like shifting that mindset. So when I talk to people, we have to go through the process. We don't even talk about money in the beginning. We're talking about your mindset. If you believe that you can't get out of debt, if you believe that you can't make more money than you want, because if you don't believe in yourself, then I won't. Like you're putting those thoughts out there. I'm telling you, you attract the things that you think about. So if you have these negative connotations towards money, towards debt, that's going to be the result within your life, and you're going to give off that energy. So don't get me wrong, like paying off my debt, any type of journey, I never said it was easy, but you have to be consistent and understand it's a marathon. So I go through these conversations with people, and I want them to come to this realization themselves. I can tell you so much information, but it needs to be able to click for you. So I ask them questions about what's keeping you from living your best life. A lot of times it's a connection with money. It's, I want to make more money. I hate my job. I want to buy this new car, but I can't afford it. Everything always pinpoints back to money. So the common denominator is money. So my challenge to them is, what are you going to do differently? Well, how are you going to educate yourself? Are you going to utilize the free information that you're getting? Because you can obtain as much information as you want to, but if you don't execute, what's the point? You're wasting both of our times at this point. But obviously, I'm being an example for people, right? People look on Instagram, they see different people. People got to understand, people don't put bad stuff on Instagram.
Yeah,
right.
So highlight reel.
Like it's very rare that I'm going to put something like, my life is terrible, I'm going to take a picture. Please give me sympathy. Help me feel better about myself. No, people don't do that. So people need to be able to differentiate between reality and what's not reality. So I guarantee you, the people that are covered in all these designers and all these liabilities, they probably don't have a lot of assets that's making them money. So they need to be able to make that disconnect. I tell people, why do you have things in your life that does not add value? Like, I like my life too much. I enjoy life. So if anything is not bringing me peace, I get rid of it. I will not follow certain people back because it doesn't make sense for me. You're not talking about finance related stuff. You're not, exuding any positive energy. It makes no sense. So like just doing small things like disconnecting from things that don't bring you peace. I don't care if it's family, old friends that you have, because you got to understand, as you grow, things around you will remain the same, and you have to figure out if you want to bring those people with you, or if those people are coming with you, are you care enough about your progress to keep on going? So it always starts with mindset.
You can tell people about changing their mindset. Now, we are very, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it, like I'm sounding like a broken record. We say the same stuff all the time because we tell people that it's not about where you came from. It's not about the amount of money you have. It's all about your mindset and how you think about how you move on certain ththings. So basically, if you want to start a business and you tell yourself that, it sounds too daunting, I can't do it. We always say that if you believe that you can, you're right. If you believe that you can't, you're right. And that's just something that we always, just because it's the power of the mind. Whatever you manifest in your mind, like you were saying earlier, I'll speak things into existence, because you know that there's a very, very much a lot of power in the things that you say. And so you got to keep your thoughts pure. Got to say everything needs to be positive in order to achieve those positive results. But I think one thing with people is that they have either a fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of something not going right, or also a fear of like having to well, something you talk about is live below your means, like having to sacrifice too much. And so, what do you say to those people? Because I know that you say you do a lot of traveling still, even despite having your very disciplined regimen of saving money, investing money. So, how do you bridge that gap as well?
So for me, life is about balance, right?
Yeah.
We only have one life. So I'm not going to tell you to completely strip all of the luxuries for your life. I won't tell you to do that. I need you to figure out balance. So for me, I'll talk about through my debt-free journey. I was trying to figure out how I can eliminate expenses. I stopped paying for Audible, which is only like $15 a month, but everything adds up. And I'm like, I'm just going to go to the library and see what the free offerings they have. Getting my nails done every 2 weeks, that's $120 right there. Couldn't get the pedicures, gotta have my feet done, but I don't have to have nails done every 2 weeks. So just being able to peel back those layers, it's all about balance and understand that this is a short-term sacrifice for long-term benefits.
Yeah.
So, right now I'm driving an older car, knowing I can go purchase a new car right now. But you know what I love? Not paying extra bills, not paying car payment. You know what I mean? So,
I do know what you mean. Yeah, 100%.
My friends would be, my friends would be all like, so when you gonna get a new car? When you gonna start paying my bills?
Yeah.
Like, I'm confused. Like, when are you gonna start paying my bills? So luckily I'm in a situation where if I wanted to, I can just go buy a car right now. But again, I'm so secure in myself and I don't care what other people think. Yeah. It's just like, I will be buying the car for you instead of buying it for myself. So anytime I get to a point where I'm moving and operating because of what somebody else thinks, it's no longer my life. And I can't be owned that way. So, I'm going to drive around with my old car and then I might have a Tesla at the end of the year. You never know, because I'm going to be able to do what I can do.
Man, I love you. This is no, because I mean, so many things that you're saying, I don't even know what I want to go into. I just picked something, but just talk about balance, right? Because a lot of people think like once you get into this mentality of like wealth building, that it's like goodbye fun, like your life is over. But the thing is, this is me personally, I enjoy my life. So I was having this conversation the other day. I told someone I love waking up every day and getting to hustle and build wealth, and living this life that I live, not having to pay rent, not having a car note, not having, all these crazy expenses and letting all my expendable income go to building wealth. Like I literally wake up so happy and relaxed, and I just love life. And then even being able, like, for example, like I told you, I'm going to Mexico next week. I can drop money on a trip whenever I want, if I want to, because I've already set my life in that way, right? I'm still driving the same car, my first car from high school with 128,000 miles on it. It's an 09 Mazda. But we did an episode the other day. I said that car is going to take me to financial freedom. And then, like I said, I might pull up on the Tesla, right? I might get the Model S. I might just do that. I might just do it. You'll never know. But I can do it, right? And it's like, it's not even like, there's so many ways to even acquire those kind of things, right? If I have an asset, the thing is, my whole mentality is like, I'm never going to be a slave to an object or a slave to what anyone else thinks, right? I'm not going to go get debt and then go to a job and have to pay that debt off, right? If worst case scenario, if I'm going to acquire debt, I need to have an asset that's going to go finance that debt, right? Yep. So that's my mentality with everything. And that's what makes this life kind of like, because it's pretty much you trick yourself into thinking like, okay, if I want something, I just need to, there's another step previous to that. I just need to get an asset to pay for it. I'm not going to be the one paying for it, right? And it all goes back to mindset, because literally once you get into this mindset, you see everything that way, and your life changes forever. Your entire lineage changes forever. So
no, I definitely agree. I'm just secure enough in myself to drive around my car, and obviously I feel like this would be a terrible time to purchase a car, and I'm not going to be really driving anywhere. But like you said, legit, I purchased my ticket to Mexico, my resort to Mexico, like 7 days before. I text my friend and said, I need to get away. Like my mental's not good right now. I need a vacation. We haven't traveled in like the last 7 months. Luckily we're in the position where we can just drop money for a trip and enjoy life. I encourage everyone to travel, get outside their comfort zone. I encourage people even to move away from their hometowns if they can. But I want that for other people. So that's the passion that I have. I want you to be able to, if you need to get away, I want you to be able to get away. So that's just the kind of stuff that I teach. So my next financial flex next Thursday is going to be my friend that I actually went on vacation with, and we'll be talking about traveling because everybody's been asking us about our trip in Mexico, budgeting for trips and things like that. And then just hearing questions from other people that say, was your trip like $200, $400? You don't understand how this works. So let me break it for you. In the financial flex next Thursday. So I'm just glad that I have a platform that I can answer questions for people too. So.
Yep, and I see why you call it financial flex too. It's pretty much, this is just the freedom of being able to do what you want when you want with your money, because you just got it like that. And that's, it's not saying that it's unobtainable either. Like anybody can achieve it, and it's all about starting off with this mindset and saying that I can achieve it, and then learning the proper steps in order to get there. I love how you think about like having that balance though as well, because we talked about this earlier. When you have all the money in your bank account, and if that day ever comes where you just say I need a day off, I need to go kick back and relax, or if I need a month off, shoot, I can do whatever I feel like because I have the assets that are going to be paying for it, and I have that residual income, I have the passive income that's coming into my bank account because I work for it up front. So now I get to reap the fruits of my labor for honestly generations to come now. So like all the work that we're doing right now is setting us up for a lifestyle that we want to live throughout all of our adulthood up until where regular people retire. So between the ages of 30 and to the day I die, and then to my children's lineage, we're all going to be able to live how we want to according to our terms, instead of having to go punch in the clock for a 9 to 5 in order to say that, hey, okay, now I got my one paycheck for these 2 weeks. Now I got to go spend frugally.
Exactly. That is not exciting. That does not sound exciting at all. But for me, it's all about having options, really. So
exactly.
I'm not gonna knock anybody that wants to retire at their 9 to 5, but I have to be able to. And one day, if I wake up and say I'm not really feeling this job anymore, I got to be able to go. So like that is usually how I move. I have to have those options. I have to have choices.
Yep, and that's exactly what we preach too. Like, it's not, they were definitely not knocking anybody who wants to work. Like I always tell people, if y'all want to work, it's fine. Like, please do. It's just, do you have the option? Do you have the option to leave and go take a month vacation if you want to? I'm big on that. Like I always say, my ideal vacation is taking a trip over to Cabo, spending like 7 days there, and being like, oh, you know what? I'm tired of Cabo now. I'm gonna take a one-way trip ticket to Cabo. Then I'm gonna take another one-way trip ticket to, I don't know, Brazil or something. Then I'll go take another one-way trip after about 7 more days to I don't know, anywhere, Egypt, I don't care, just having the freedom to do what you want to when you want to, and for however long you want to. That's my idea of freedom.
I mean, y'all better than me. Y'all say y'all don't knock them, I definitely do knock them. I don't know why you would want to. Why would you want to work a job? Come on now.
Well, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And, I was talking to my friend recently. I was like, they never should have introduced me to entrepreneurship. They never should introduce it to me, because like, I can't look at a 9 to 5 the same. Like, so you going to tell me when I can clock in and when I need to clock out? Like,
sounds like slavery to me.
It sounds a lot like slavery. I think I tweeted something like that. I don't know if I got dragged on Twitter or not, but I might have. But I think it is similar to slavery. I mean, if you're controlling what I can and cannot do, if I can't bring my full self to work, that's the issue with me. So that's something that I've been working through this whole like pandemic and working on my 9 to 5. Not even the COVID-19, but having conversations about social injustices and reflecting and being the only Black person on your team. In the career that I am, obviously, that's nothing. I'm usually the youngest person in the room. I'm usually the only Black person in the room. I knew that. That's what happens when, you excel at things, you do well. That's fair. I understand that things, but I know what my value is. So why would I continue to give that to a company that doesn't see that same value in myself? So these are the things that I reflect on during this time. So, we'll see. I won't say anything. My boss might be listening in, but I just love that I have those options that I can fall back on. And I'm at the place or at the age where I'm just really setting strong foundations. So I'm not relying on that 9 to 5.
Know your worth. That's my summary from that.
Facts. Okay, so let's get into this Fast Five. The Fast Five is pretty much what we do with every guest. We ask you 5 questions, and you have to answer them in 60 seconds or less.
Okay.
So, first question: what does success mean to you?
Sounded easy before. Success means to me being able to live my life and be at peace with the decisions that I'm making.
Sounds good.
Success is personal to me, not necessarily how society defines it.
Subjective.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so number 2, what's your favorite money or business book?
Ooh, can I get multiple?
Yes.
Yep.
Think, Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I have a book here. Powernomics by Claude Anderson, and then I just started reading CPR for the Soul by Sean Rochester. He talks about the black tax and how different biases that companies have and how that contributes to money that's owed to us. So yeah, I got a lot of books, but Think and Grow Rich and Powernomics by Claude Anderson, and then also Think Grow Rich, The Black Choice
By Dennis.
Yes, by Dennis Kimbrough. Yes, I don't have the book physically, but I read it before. Yeah.
So, would you rather have $1,000 a week for life or $1 million today, and why?
For me, probably $1 million today, because I can flip that 7 different ways, and tomorrow's not promised. So I can't worry about that $1,000 a week.
Love it.
Question number 4. If you could go back and change anything about your journey, what would it be?
Nothing. I wouldn't change anything. It's always lessons, never lost.
I think you're the first person to say that.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, I'm still young. I mean, I still have a lot to learn, but I wouldn't change anything. I appreciate the journey.
Live with no regrets. That's beautiful.
Where can people find out more about you? Last question.
Ooh, so many things. So you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at just Annalisa. And then also on Instagram, people can set up discovery calls with me. They're free 30-minute discovery calls. I do have financial services options if you need help, like creating a strategy for your business plan, or you may have a plan, you just recently paid off debt and you need someone to be your accountability partner. So you have that option that you can pay for monthly with me. But that link is in my Instagram bio, and you can book if it's time available. And then Financial Flex, Financial Flex. Again, you'll learn about that on Instagram. I will be transitioning to YouTube Live soon, but if they follow me on there, they can learn more about me.
Got you. And a bonus question: are you single?
That is definitely. I wasn't expecting that question, but no, I'm not single.
We got you. We got it. Okay, well, that was for the people that was wondering. I don't know, it could be somebody out there.
I don't think anybody was wondering, but
no, I'm playing. I'm messing with you.
Yeah, so I'm excited for you all to allow me to be on the platform to talk with you all.
For sure. Well, yeah. This was a great episode. I appreciate you coming on. Marlon, you got anything to add?
Nope. I just know that we just found our clone, though, in female form. So we appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you just for reaching out to us, because this was a great one, no doubt.
Well, that's it for this episode of the Money Monopolizers podcast. New episodes will be released every Thursday, except next week, and will be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Just search Money Monopolizers wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you learned something of value today. If you did, we'd appreciate it if you rated us 5 stars, not 4, and left us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can also find out more info about us on Twitter at The Monopolizers or on IG at Money Monopolizers. We post informative content on there that'll keep you engaged, so be sure to check those out and share those posts. But until then, we out here.
You've been listening to the Money Monopolizers podcast, helping you take control of your financial destiny. To learn more about how you can be in control of your money, visit moneymonopolizers.com. We'll catch you next time when Alex and Marlon share more personal finance and wealth creation tips with you. Now it's time to take action.